Hello and welcome to BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Today we travel north to Kingston Park for the first time this season as Northumbria host Exeter. This fixture has produced some classics over the years and this has been a fortress for Northumbria. They are 3 from 3 at the start of the season, but their heaviest defeat of the season was inflicted by none other than today's visitors. It's the second live match we're bringing you this week. Joining us is Josh Ruddington. Josh, you're out with a hamstring injury, so rugby's loss is our gain. Welcome.
Yeah, good to be here.
You're missing out today. Obviously, the boys would rather have you in the team, but how's the injury getting on?
I've been doing a lot of work with SEC staff and physio, and hopefully be back in the team, back in the mix for next week for Met away.
Oh, it's a difficult game to come back into.
About that.
OK, let's have a chat about today then. It's been a bit of a disaster journey for Exeter. They booked the plane for the wrong day, so they started their coach journey at 5 a.m. However, let's not talk about them. Let's talk about your boys, Northumbria. This has been a happy hunting ground for you so far this season.
Yeah, we're looking to keep that 100% record at home, and we haven't really played that well this year, and performance against Cardiff Uni the other week wasn't that great, so we're looking to build on that for this week.
Did show a huge amount of character though. I think Cardiff University, they're at the bottom of the table, but they're a surprise package. To come through that must stand you in good stead.
Yeah, we definitely looked at that second half to build on, as the first half we just didn't really get anything going, and we've a bit of a reshuffle with the team this week, so we're looking to get out to the backs with a couple of speedy wingers.
Oh, that's it. He's already given us the game plan. Well, let's take a look at the league table then. We've had some fixtures on Wednesday already, so Hartpury sit top on 26 points. Cardiff Met just behind them on 25, and Bath continue their good form 2 points behind again. The two teams today started the week in second and third position. They're now in fourth and fifth. Of course, Loughborough and Nottingham Trent with bonus point wins. Leeds Beckett picking up a couple of bonus points themselves, and Cardiff still languishing in bottom place despite coming up here and giving Northumbria a real torrid time last week. The results we've already had so far this week: Nottingham Trent's bonus point win 38-19 against Cardiff. It was a nail-biter in the East Midlands. Loughborough 31, Leeds Beckett 29. Cardiff Met left it late to get the victory against Bath at the STV, and Hartpury, perhaps the performance of the week, 41-10. They defeated Durham at home at the Gilmans. Looking at those results, any that particularly surprise you?
The Durham one as probably one of the favourites for the league, and then be given a bit of a hiding by Hartpury.
Happens a couple of times with Durham. You never know which Durham you're going to get, but that certainly keeps us guessing. Those are the thoughts of Josh Ruddling. He's going to be joining us throughout this evening. But of course, as always, we must say thank you to Yoti, a fantastic group of people who support us both on and off the field with BUCS Super Rugby. Let's take a look at this now and find out a bit more about what they're all about.
Easier because I had already set up on the app about 3 months ago actually when it first came to the island.
I really like how simple it was to use.
It's the kind of convenience we want in this modern age that we live in.
Like, you don't really want to carry your passport around on night out, you're always going to have a phone on you.
The convenience to be able to go up and get my phone and just scan a thing.
It's just easy, you have all your stuff in one place.
And it makes life a lot easier when you're trying to prove your age, and quite versatile as well.
Thanks once again to Yoti for their continued support, bringing us at least one match every week in BUCS Super Rugby, and this week, of course, 2. We covered Loughborough on Wednesday. We're up here at Kingston Park on Friday. Josh Ruddling. 2 teams going head-to-head here on a great surface. The conditions are holding up well too. I'm expecting a thriller. How do you think this one's going to go?
Yeah, we definitely owe them one after what happened down there, so we're looking to put in a big performance.
Well, those are the thoughts of Josh Ruddling. We'll be hearing plenty more of those in the co-commentary position. Beforehand, I caught up with head coaches Keith Fleming and Darren Fern. Well, Darren, you kept your cards pretty close to your chest with regards to your team selection, which to the outside ear might mean that you're happy with your 15.
Yeah, we've got some lads coming back in the mix, and we've changed. There's some personnel who are obviously still playing, but we've mixed it up a bit about where they're actually playing positionally. So yeah, it was. Kept it close to our chest till last night.
Well, you certainly kept us waiting, but it does look like an exciting 15. Let's talk about where we are then. Kingston Park has been a happy hunting ground for you. 3 wins out of 3. They've all been close, but that's pleasing from a coach's perspective.
Yeah, obviously it's great to get the win. And yeah, they have been close. They've been quite nerve-wracking. I mean, they all have, apart from this fixture down in Exeter earlier in the season. So yeah, hopefully it'll be I know it'll be a good game, but hopefully it won't be as nerve-wracking.
Well, let's talk about the return fixture then, because that's the one game where the scoreline really hasn't been in your favour. What do you think the difference was between that fixture and the rest this year?
We were at our best performance-wise. They played, I feel, very well. And the scoreline, it was a fair scoreline. It wasn't one of them that didn't reflect the game. It was a fair scoreline.
Lots been made of Josh Hodge. A lot of talent in your squad. You've rolled your eyes as I've said that. His kicking's won you games, but there's a lot more to his game than that. Yeah,
he's he's only 18. He's a talented lad. He's played some great schoolboy rugby at Sedbergh, and then he's part of the setup at Newcastle. We've obviously done a great job with him. So we're really happy to have him on board, and he's an X-factor player. But that doesn't just do him justice, because he's got a good rugby head on him, and I think he'll go a long way.
Finally, a word on the opposition today. You've been involved with some classics at the beginning of last season where you both reached 50 points. It was one to remember. And of course, they have given you one good beating. They've had, well, let's describe it as an interesting journey up here. What do you expect from them today?
Listen, again, as I say all the time, every game's a tough game, but Exeter, they've been a good team for many years now. They'll come up here, and I think they'll be expecting to win, not in an arrogant way, but they'd be disappointed if they didn't come here and win. We'll be the same, so I think it'll be a good game for the neutral, and I think there'll be some attacking rugby. I think it'll be a real good battle.
Cheers, Darren. Good luck.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Well, we're counting down to kick-off. You got here eventually. How are the boys after that mammoth journey?
Well, it was a very nice long bonding trip. So, but now the boys are okay. They're okay.
You have spent a lot of time on the road. This is your 5th away match, but you're still in the mix in terms of the top of the table. That must be pleasing.
Yeah, no, we're fairly pleased. But there's a lot of work still to do, which is a good thing in one respect. So, we're still fighting hard.
A lot of new faces, of course, that's the nature of the beast with University Rugby, but you've still put in some great performances, got some great scores, and you're playing that famous Exeter University brand of rugby. What's the secret?
There's no secret. It's hard work. The boys have to work really hard. We're fortunate that we've got depth, but we need it. For some reason this season we seem to be blighted with injuries, and I'm speaking to some of the other guys at other unis. They're suffering the same plight. So, but it gives the opportunity. Once the other guys get an opportunity, they've got to grab it. So.
Well, speaking of that famous brand of rugby, it's fast both in attack and defence, so surfaces like this at Kingston Park today, the boys must be looking forward to playing on it.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, we train on it, and I hope the boys are looking forward to it, and it's great to be playing at Kingston Park too. They're looking forward to it.
In terms of individuals, it's a strong 15 out here today, lots on the bench. Are there any particular names that the viewers should be looking out for?
No, not really. 1 to 23, they're all here to do a job. So, but no one in particular.
And the opposition today, you've beaten them soundly once this season already, but in terms of the league, they're in a very similar position to you. What do you expect from them?
It's going to be a real tough game of rugby. They'll put everything they've got into it, and hopefully we do as well. I don't think previous results has got anything to do with this particular game. This is going to be a tough old night.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Keith Fleming and Darren Fern there as we count down to kick-off here. It's BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti, live from Kingston Park, Northumbria and Exeter. Before we get the match underway, let's take a look at some of the results. I think it's pretty obvious you've been in some battles so far this season, Josh Rudling, but you've managed to squeak home every time you've been here at home. Somewhat of a fortress for you.
Yeah, we look to use this as a fortress. We like the pitch, we like to play fast, and we just use it to our advantage.
Of course, there's that one standout defeat as well, the loss against Exeter in round 4, 45-24, but I'm sure there have been some lessons learnt from that, and you'll be looking to rectify it here this evening.
Yeah, definitely. We were a bit too flat down in Exeter, didn't really get off the line, gave them too much space, and probably showed them a bit too much respect.
So both teams on 21 points going into this. Exeter have got there via some very impressive performances, particularly at home. Leeds Beckett were put to the sword 43-19, and of course Northumbria 45-24. They spent a lot of time on the road, a draw against Loughborough, a loss to Durham, a loss to Bath, and of course the only away win coming against Cardiff. But they have shown they can travel away and they can mix it up with the very best, and they're going to come here to win tonight.
Yeah, definitely. We know what they're going to bring. They're just going to try and crash out with the forwards and then use their 9 and 10 to try and control it and use it out the back with the backs.
Well, speaking of that 9 and 10, Pierre Thompson, of course, one of the top try scorers in the league. Let's take a look at the starting 15s for both sides then. Starting with the host, Northumbria, George Williams, Joseph Lashley and Isaac Brace in the front row, Toby Hodges and Ed Bloodworth at 4 and 5. Bloodworth, of course, returning. Harrison Fantini and Boardhill in the back row. James Elliott and Wakoki Koki at 9 and 10. Charlie Parkhouse at 11. Galbraith and Berg in the centres. Josh Hodge at 14. Bragman at 15. A lot of familiar names there, but a few people playing in new positions. Are you excited by that Northumbria 15?
Yeah, definitely a whacker at 10. Just watch out for him. Naughty feet. Don't give him too much space.
Well, that is the advice there from Josh Rudling. Don't give Wacky too much space. Let's have a look at Exeter's starting 15 then. A few try machines in there. One of them is in the number 1 jersey. Josh Peters, his captain George Gosling is alongside him at hooker, and Will Cutbill makes up the front row. Paul Schroeter and Lashi Jaini at 4 and 5. Capstick, White and Rouse into the back row. Pierre Thompson's got over the whitewash plenty of times. He starts at scrum half. Sam Morley outside him at 10. Chatterton on the left. Davis on the right with Hollis and Morgan in the centres. Salma Bogue at 15. Of course, it's not just about 1 to 15 for both sides. The finishers will have plenty to say, and it's Newstead, Warburton, Ross, Robinson, Walton, Pickering, Ashman and Howarth for the hosts. For the visitors, Hamilton, Johnson, Richardson, Morgan, Capon, Dishio, Matt Blee and Toby Williams from 16 to 23. Well, that picture looks pretty bleak, but the conditions here for the time of year, pretty nice all in all. Team's just preparing to come out, but it's not too cool, and it's usually pretty windy here, but the conditions are still. This will suit both teams and should set us up for a great 80 minutes.
Yeah, unusual is usually really windy, but this will probably suit Exeter a bit more, as they like to just go through the phases, be patient, but it should be a good running game.
Well, speaking of the running game, you've spent plenty of time playing on this surface here at Kingston Park. What's it like for an outside back?
Oh, it's brilliant. So much space, quick surface. Once you get half break, you're probably going to go through, and then especially with our team, always support runners that you can give it to.
BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti, the second live match of the week, and here come the visitors, Exeter. 21 points from their matches so far, a bonus point victory, and they'll be level on points with Hartbury at the top of the table. A lot of these lads have been there, seen and done it, and the new faces, well, they're looking pretty comfortable here at this top university level as well. And they're pretty vocal, especially given that they've been on the road since 5 a.m. But here come the hosts to a very loud cheer. It's a small but vocal crowd. Undefeated at home, 3 matches, 3 wins, but every single one of those wins has come by less than a converted score. But confidence running high through the players, through the coach, and through the man sitting to my left-hand side, Josh Rudling. Before we get underway, I'm not going to ask you for a prediction, but what I will tell you is that at the end of this match, you will be awarding the Yoti Player of the Match, as Harry Walbaum takes control of this one. Mick Harris and Dave Charlton are his assistants.
Okay, White. Black, time you run.
Josh Bragman will get us underway. He starts at 15 today. It's a jersey that Josh Hodge seemed to have made his own. However, that shows the strength and depth that Northumbria have got in that back three, those back 3 positions. First carry there for Jack Rouse. He's back in the Exeter side after a concussion's kept him out for the last couple of weeks. Well cut ball there. It's a first touch. Huge number 3 for Exeter. He'll take some shifting in the scrum. And that's the first box kick, the first opportunity for this Northumbria back 3. There is Josh Hodge, wearing 14, but standing on the left wing to receive that kick. Excellent tackle there. Little nudge in behind, recovered well by Charlie Davis. Pierre Thompson. Rotner with the carry and the first penalty of the match. Minute gone, the first stoppage. But as we expected, play pretty open. And a comfortable touch found there. Sam Morley with the left boot. Our first look at the set piece. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Here's the captain, Gosling. Finds his jumper. Exeter, of course, happy in that set piece environment. Had some huge names come through the system from BUCS Super Rugby. Of course, Sam Skinner getting man of the match on his Scotland debut. Cy Linsell going from Exeter to captain the Hartbury team in the championship, so they're no strangers. But now's the first opportunity for the backs to make some headway, and look at that for a turn of pace into the 22, driving through. First venture into their opponent's territory. Can they come away with some points? 5 metres short, bang under the sticks. Over the line, they've reached out, they've scored! What a start for Exeter. 2.5 minutes gone, their first venture into the Northumbria 22, and they have a 5-0 lead. Well, it was easy work there for Josh Peters. He's been a try machine for Exeter this year. Such a strong ball carrier, and he licks his lips at opportunities like that. Exeter 5, Northumbria 0. Well, after a 10-hour coach journey, that is a dream start. Converted by Morley, Exeter 7, Northumbria 0. Well, it was a try made in the forwards, Josh. Not a place you find yourself particularly often, but it was fast, it was furious, and it was very precise from the visitors.
Yeah, just classic Exeter, just pick and go, get it through the forwards, and then that just come off a penalty, which they got a line out, and then them just being patient, and then eventually got a try.
Well, it was clinical. They've got the lead in Yari Fancini. Nearly getting on the end of one there, but it was knocked on from the kickoff. And from a first look at the line-out, we're going to have a first look at the scrum. To the naked eye, Exeter looking to have a huge size advantage in this set scrum.
Yeah, they put some big boys down with them, haven't they?
Certainly have.
Crouch. Bite. Set.
And they've managed to disrupt it enough to get the put in at the next one. The pressure came on just as the ball was escaping. What an opening 5 minutes this for Exeter.
Crouch. Bite. Set.
Pierre Thompson with the put in, and look at this from Exeter. This could be real problems here for Northumbria if this continues throughout the match. George Williams coming back into the side, of course. Isaac Brace, the other side of the front row. He's a fresher prop, and he is having to learn the hard way here. 2 scrums in and a massive advantage for Exeter. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti here at Kingston Park.
Fight! Set! 9!
This time it does come out. And there's Mabogue. Gets the offload away. So much pace at that left-hand side. It's George Chatterton for Exeter. Causing a couple of problems there for the home team. Oh, lovely pick-up off the toes as well. There's the hooker Gosling. It's Jack Rouse. Always willing to offer himself as a ball carrier. Oh, look at that from Will Hollis.
No ball there.
Threatened to do that the first time he carried the ball. Certainly delivered it the second. Peters, the try scorer, gets met on halfway. Still manages to get over the gain line. Thompson. Cat Bill this time. Here's Rouse. Bloodworth goes high on him. Good period of possession this for Exeter. Mabogue dummies and gets brought down by Okoki Koki. But Exeter going through the phases, and Northumbria not really committing anyone to the breakdown at the moment as the scrum half has a little dart himself.
On the body.
An appeal there for Northumbria, but fell on deaf ears from the referee as Exeter spent about 3 minutes going through the phases here. Really got over the gain line as the tackle goes in on the second rower. Suggestion it could have been high. Now they do put boot to ball. And finally Northumbria get their hands on the ball, albeit inside their own 22.
Shoulder on, good hold. Shoulder on, good picture. 9!
Elliott boxes this time. Up the tram lines and no real pressure on the chase. Brought back with interest by Charlie Davis, who's over the 10-metre line again. Finally, it's an unforced error from Exeter that brings play to a halt. Let's take another look at this hit. Coming in from deep, drops the shoulder. I mean, it's a mismatch in terms of physicality, but Hollis lined the man up there and he'd have felt that.
Yeah, you got to put your body on the line there, get in low, even if you do get made a bit made to look a bit silly.
Even if you do end up flat on your back, you've got to stop him somehow. But a hectic period of play there. Exeter have certainly settled into this one the better as we approach 10 minutes of BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti.
Yeah, definitely, but I think as shown, defence have been pretty good. We've been pretty patient and just let them make an unforced error. Now we'll look to play off this scrum.
Well, the last scrum with the Northumbria put in led to a handling error. I'd be surprised if we see this one going in and out pretty quickly. Much better now. Here is Wakoki Koki. They said don't give him any space, and he tries to get the hands away. It's gone backwards. If that one does land in the bread basket, then Northumbria are in unopposed. Oh, the inside ball, not quite coming off. George Williams back into the team as Exeter kick away their advantage, but Charlie Davis chasing this one into the 22. Oh, good footwork, in then out to get around him. Josh Hodge on the wing today as opposed to at full-back, but the result the same. Scored an exceptional try to win it against Cardiff, didn't he?
Yeah, give him too much space. He's just effortless when he runs, so quick, and then obviously they're showing a bit of footwork.
9.
You don't want to give him an opportunity to kick for the posts either. Box kick, Pierre Thompson waits underneath it and gathers it comfortably. LeBeau takes it to ground. Morley. Hectic stuff from Exeter.
Tacklers away! No! Good. No, ball's there now.
Everyone, bar the open side flanker, lined up in the open side for Exeter here as they take the long way round. Tackle made by George Williams. Exeter just inside their own half, approaching 12 minutes. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Was that high on Gosling? Referee happy to let it continue. A few big shots in midfield, both in attack and defence.
Counter's good.
Thompson lines up the box again. The chase not quite as forthcoming this time. And Northumbria can clear through Josh Hodge. And we go back to the set piece.
Back line is yours. Great numbers.
Well, the ball's been in play a great deal. Counted 2 line-outs and 4 scrums in the opening 12 minutes. But as you mentioned, Josh, Northumbria's defence looking pretty solid at the moment.
Yeah, it's been definitely one of our work-ons recently, trying to keep teams out.
But 15 metres made on this drive. The hooker, George Gosling, has it at the back. They've got an advantage coming too. Into the 22, it keeps moving. That's 25 metres made. Still advantage, now they take it to ground. Or do they take it to ground? Still going.
No advantage there, good turnover, back again.
And the ball was turned over, but all that means is we go back to the original penalty and a decision to be made. Kick for the post or kick for the corner? Well, they're deciding to kick for the corner. Obviously confident. Boyd off the one drive and a lot shorter distance to the try line this time.
Line's yours, Black. I'll get your numbers.
Statement of intent there from Exeter.
White numbers.
Morley and Hollis
7.
were in your shot, but they'll have very little to do here, one would imagine. Gosling, the captain, first things first, needs to find his man. Goes to the back, that's the easy bit.
Legal sack.
It's gone to ground, legal, says the referee. That's well done by Northumbria. Perhaps a try-saving sack. Capstick. Pierre Thompson takes a step back, leaves it to the forwards. They're over the line again.
Mick, I've got no view of the grounding. You got anything? Try's good. Thank you, mate.
Try's been awarded. The referee relies on his AR to make the decision. But 2 chances and 2 tries for Exeter. Not 15 minutes gone yet. And they're 12 points to the good. Let's take a look at this again. Northumbria thought they'd got through the hard work, but the forwards carried on going. Pierre Thompson, the scrum half, just took a step back and left it to the big men. Paul Schrottner with the final touch. We can see there, got it on the line. On the line is behind the line. And after 15 minutes, Exeter showing no signs of the fatigue that kind of nightmare journey might bring. Morley to add the extras. Dissects the uprights. Northumbria 0, Exeter 14. Let's take another look at this. Well, before the match, we were talking about the pungency of both teams' backs, but at the moment it's the visitors' forwards who are telling the difference.
Yeah, they've definitely come to play, and initially I thought we stopped it, but then obviously they just kept going with a good latch and drive, and then they've got themselves a try.
BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Exeter 14-0 to the good on their visit up north here to Kingston Park. There's Josh Hodge, gets round the first defender but tackled by the second. There's Elliott. Galbraith standing in at outside half there. 15 minutes in and Northumbria haven't really had a sniff in the opponent's half. Exeter's line speed, a real hallmark of their game, and Fantini gets his first touch, tries to free the hands, needs to be careful he's not isolated there. Expect to see plenty of him on the ball when Northumbria have the ball, which has been a rarity in these opening 17 minutes. Another mistake this time from Bragman. Advantage coming here, but Thompson has a little go himself. Here's Rouse. Throws a dummy and goes straight over the top of Lashley. Inside ball. Oh, and an important tackle made as well. So often someone like Charlie Davis can punch through a gap there. Capstick. It's Rouse again.
Good, release the ball back to his feet.
Real engine on Jack Rouse, takes so many carries. Mbogue. No one on the blind side for Exeter, so they'll take it back left. Oh, lovely line. Taking the ball right to it and sending big George Gosling towards the 22. Now it's his front row partner Josh Peters. Scored the opening try, of course, takes them into the 22. And Exeter relentless at the moment. Footwork from Morley. 15 metres short, and the speed on the ball for Exeter. Northumbria just can't hang with them right now. Ollie White waits on the blind side, so Exeter go open. And Northumbria have no release valve. Exeter dominant in possession. Peters.
Back foot.
Five metres short, becomes 2 metres short. Jack Rouse has a look, goes around the outside. And there's an advantage coming here for offside as well. Northumbria too keen at the break, but it's another try, and Josh Peters gets his second. Exeter rampant, and they lead 19-0 with 19 on the clock. Well, this is not what Northumbria would have expected. Josh Peters, so powerful from short range. Laws of physics say he's going to be difficult to stop, but when he's backed up by the likes of Paul Schrottner, that's 200 and something kilos trying to go through a gap. This probably the easiest of the 3 conversions as well. Morley to make it 23. Sorry, 21 should I say. He's 2 from 2 so far. Composes himself, strikes it with the left foot, makes it look easy. And at the moment, Exeter making it look easy as well. They're 21-0 to the good after 20 minutes of BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. And Josh Rudling, Northumbria, just needs some ball.
Yeah, you just need to keep hold of the ball in their half and just go through the phases, and then we'll get points. Just goes, as Exeter have shown, it goes to show when you go through the phases, get quick ball, usually end up with a couple tries.
Well, they've all been very similar. All forward dominated. The backs haven't been work shy, but when it's come to the red zone, it has been the big men doing the damage. Change has been made in the second row for Northumbria then. Mike Walton has come on wearing number 20, replacing Toby Hodges, who is in number 5. So Les Ludworth is just trotting up to the break down there. He's coming back from a knee injury. You can see that heavy strapping on his left knee. He's good to go.
Timing back.
Pierre Thompson again tests with the box kick. This is going to be a real challenge. And it's scrum advantage as it goes forward. Josh Hodge didn't look anywhere near. He was catching that. Nexter with advantage over. Looks deep into the 22 as well. Oh, that's well picked up off the toes. And now broken field to run at. Will this yield anything for Northumbria? A rare period of time with their hands on the ball. Trying to run it out of their own 22. Probably just relieved to get a touch at this stage. They trail 21-0.
Use it!
James Elliott calls them to the blind side. Capstick makes the tackle for Exeter.
All clear. Same as against number 6 over there. That's all clear.
And finally, a Northumbria penalty. They've been pretty few and far between in these opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, I've got to look to build off this, try and get a bit of go forward, use the backs a bit.
Spoken like a true back. That's a good touch finder. The left boot of Josh Hodge. Trusted as always. Takes Northumbria into the Exeter half as we're into the second quarter here. Change at hooker as well. Michael Newstead coming back in. Coming off the bench after just a quarter of the match. And now an opportunity wasted once again for Northumbria. That's a couple of times that's happened. They've tried that short ball right on the line. When it comes off, it's great, but it's a high pressure play that's not really coming off at the moment.
Yeah, just skills there, had to get his hands up, probably didn't see it coming.
Well, a couple of changes in the pack. How will this affect the way the scrum has gone?
Winger, is it?
It wasn't the cleanest of passes to the standoff to begin with. Good contact on halfway. Good bit of evasion there from Sam Morley. Bit of a commando crawl before the ball goes forward again. I think the pass was forward before the knock-on was given.
Right! Far side, pre-engaged.
First look down the camera, we had a look at Pierre Thompson's moustache. That's a pretty naughty mo, that is.
Yeah, a couple naughty Movember moustaches going around. I think Lewisburg's probably got the best one in the poly at the moment.
It's all for a good cause. Plenty of teams up and down BUCS Super Rugby raising money for Movember. So pick your favourite team and go over and visit their Mo Bros site. I notice you've resisted the temptation, Josh.
Yeah, I decided to grow my hair out instead.
That's probably a much better look. I've said that, Josh has felt around the moustache area. Perhaps he'll give it a go next year.
Stay square.
Well, the scrum looked more solid there, but as Yari Fantini pops up to have a look, Exeter march forward and the advantage is coming. Jack Rouse controls it and Fantini quickly
Still advantage 9.
to tackle the number 8. Pierre Thompson can't get away from George Bodrill. And there's Darren Fern with a lot of thinking to do. And once again, Exeter are going to find themselves in the Northumbria 22. It's been a pretty happy hunting ground for them in the 25 minutes so far here at BUCS Super Rugby, presented by Yoti. And if they can pick up another try here, that of course is the bonus point secure. It's coming again. George Gosling had the ball at the back. Josh Peters has it right now, looking for a first half hat-trick. Peters. No advantage coming again. Northumbria in all kinds of trouble in this match. Now perhaps the chance for the backs to express themselves, and Bogue gets through the first tackle, tries to free the hands, can't quite get them away, but a little dab in behind to chase. It's picked up. Will the referee bring them back? Yes, he will. Good cover in there from Chatterton, but Exeter playing with the shackles off and looking incredibly comfortable here. So comfortable, in fact, the World Cup Bill's having a sit down.
Okay, line is yours, Black.
Well, there are the Exeter finishers, the replacements. I bet they'll be champing at the bit to get on, given how this is going for their side. I'm led to believe that they'll be flying home. For those that missed all of the commotion, Exeter were initially booked to fly up, but somebody at the club booked the flights for the wrong day. So they arrived at the airport, had to turn around, and instead got a 5 AM coach up this morning. However, that has not affected them in the slightest as they take a clean line-out ball, drive for the line again.
Yeah, 2 is broken away.
George Gosling broken away, so the tackle's been made. It's not going to come from the drive, but keep your eye on the big men.
All clear.
Well, Harry Walbom is going to have a word with the captain here. Is he going to take further action?
Just explain first. Ring 2 broke away there for the tackle, which is what I've called. The player must roll away. We've had 6 over there. We've now had a maul entry. Another one here. If they keep giving away penalties under pressure in the 5. Can you give me a minute? Yeah, of course, Captain.
Well, he decided on no further action this time, but with the pressure building, I can't help but feel a yellow card might be on the way.
Yeah, it's definitely final warning. Too many penalties in the red zone. We just got to stop giving away silly things, and then hopefully we can get out of here.
Well, the captain having a word with his troops there.
Okay, James, you've had that word. Thank you. What are we calling here? No funny one. All clear.
And no surprise that
Line's yours,
Exeter
Black.
go
Line
for the
is
corner
yours.
once again.
7-man called.
Well, Will Cutbill having
Okay,
some
just hold the hook
attention
there,
for
Dave.
the
Just hold the
second time. The big number 3. The front row cover on the bench.
Physio, just
And he's going to take a breather. Difficult to tell what the injury is, but appears to be limping on that left foot. As we approach half an hour gone here at Kingston Park, BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti.
Okay, send him on.
Exeter 3 converted scores to the good. A couple for Peters. And one for Schroepner. And a front row
Okay,
replacement
time back on.
making his way on. Number 18, Finn Richardson, takes his place at the front of the line. Clean take from Capstick. Looked like a good counter maul from Northumbria, and it was. Finally, a bit of luck inside their own 22.
Yeah, got the ball back for once now. We need to keep it and try and get up the other end of the field.
Well, who did the good work here for Northumbria?
good initial drive, and then I think that truck and trailer there, or
yeah, accidental offside. A couple of Northumbria's big men there trying to drag it straight down as soon as the Exeter carrier landed.
Crouch. Fight. Set.
Well, Exeter putting pressure on at the scrum, but still this is the audacity we expect from Northumbria. Up to halfway with just one backdoor offload and a break from the left winger Charlie Parkhouse. Newstead, the replacement hooker, getting a touch. The bouncing ball dealt with well by Bragman. The first signs of life here for Northumbria. Jack Rouse making it difficult for anyone to get the ball away, but what about that for an offload? There's Hodge up towards the 22. Yari Fantini's there. There are bodies over it from Exeter. That is fantastic work from Paul Schrottner, the second rower, snaffling out any danger, getting that big body over the ball. Well, that'll please Exeter, but I think Northumbria will be delighted just to be able to express themselves slightly.
yeah, let's show him what we can do with a bit of space, but I'm not sure if Josh didn't hear him there, but he's probably got to give that, because we'll be in under the sticks there.
Well, Josh Rudling, a harsh critic of his teammates there. But finally, signs of life for the hosts. And that's a bit of a warning sign for Exeter. 21 points might seem like a big lead. That was a lovely offload there from Koki. Didn't look like it was on, but all of a sudden Josh Hodge had some space.
Yeah, he's dangerous with ball and land, always sucks in defenders and then leaves spaces for other people.
But we're back up to halfway. And Exeter again securing good line-out ball. Set piece has been exemplary for the visitors.
Okay, that's one twice. New ball.
It's breaking up on halfway. And this time Northumbria win the arm wrestle. Probably the best 2 minutes of the match so far.
Yeah, two good line breaks by our wingers, and then luckily we got the ball back on halfway, so we look to play off this scrum.
Well, the last scrum, George Bordill at 8 went up the blind side and managed to release the winger. No one lining up on the blind side this time. Everyone in the open side. Josh Hodge just standing behind the scrum, so perhaps he could look to stand up Charlie Davis.
Set.
Better scrum from Northumbria as well, but it needs to come out before it breaks up. And this time it does. Well, there's Koki trying to create the overlap, and does. It's a 2-on-1. Has that gone forward? No, says the assistant. Northumbria over the line, hasn't been grounded. What a tackle that is. Well, Exeter being stretched more than they have done in half an hour here, and somehow Northumbria still scoreless. Well, Bragman there looked forward to me, however Charlie Parkhouse looked to take full advantage, turning inside then out. But what about this tackle from Will Hollis? Incredible upper body strength to keep the man up, but much better from Northumbria, Josh.
Yeah, definitely just showing what we can do with the little ball that we had. We're definitely very dangerous outside backs.
Signs of life here from Northumbria, and they've got the put in at the scrum. Josh Hodge keeping an incredible amount of width, but the free kick. Has he grounded that? It was the big number 8, Bordill. If he didn't, it's another great tackle. Oh, there's the try, there's the response. That's what Northumbria needed. And finally, the hosts are off the mark. Northumbria 5, Exeter 21.
Yeah, clinical there. Great tackle going from Bordeaux, and then just around the corner from the forwards. Couldn't reach, too hard to stop from there.
Well, not entirely sure how Bordeaux didn't score the first time round. It's as though all he needed to do was reach out.
I thought he got over, but nevertheless he scored next phase, so it's all good.
There goes Bordeaux. Just short of the line. And who has it got the final touch?
I think George Williams, first try of the season.
Back in the team, in the 1 jersey. He's got himself over the whitewash. Boy, oh boy, did Northumbria need that. Now Josh Hodge, he's been the talk of the league with this left boot. And maintains his 100% kicking record. He really is some player.
Yeah, he's silly good, never misses. Gets all the misses out of the way in the warm-up. Big game player.
George Williams. We're in number 1, being driven over by a couple of big men behind him, and finally Northumbria get their first score. Game on here.
All backwards.
That's good handling as well. George Bordeaux has had a good few minutes. It was his break from the back of the scrum that really got the ball rolling for Northumbria.
Okay, tackle now.
He had to have his wits about him there as the ball got over the initial receiver. Broken play for Northumbria to run out here before the tackle's made by Exeter. A couple of minutes to go until half-time. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. There's Michael Newstead, the replacement hooker, with the carry. Northumbria throwing caution to the wind here, and really they have to. Chasing the game, and of course this is the way you got back into it against Cardiff as well.
Yeah, we looked to play from anywhere, but I don't know what happened there. But yeah, we looked to play, try and keep the ball in as much as possible.
Lewisburg back on the side again today, wearing 13. He's tackled on the 22. Still Northumbria not exiting with a boot.
9, back foot. Okay, use it.
Not a lot of depth on the box kick. Oh, that's a phenomenal take from Salma Bogue. Under immense pressure. And Exeter back on the ball after a quiet period for them. They sweep forward once more. There's Capstick, gets through the first tackler. Driven towards the line there by Parkhouse. Huge collision as well. Exeter ball carrier ending up on his back. And another penalty for Northumbria. Well, finally they've arrived. Let's take a look at this. Salma Bogue.
Yeah, fair play. That's a great catch.
Bragman finds touch for Northumbria.
Blue line for yours, white. Exeter.
Our clock ticking down to half-time, but remember, our clock not linked in with the referees. It's pretty accurate. However, if the clock goes red and your team's in the lead, don't get too excited, because there might still be some rugby to come. What we do know is we'll have time for this line out here. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Northumbria were 21-0 down. Got the try through Williams. Now they're back into the 22. Good line out ball. There is Berg. Never shy of the contact zone, the outside centre. It's not this time of the run, and a penalty for Exeter.
Exactly the same penalty as halfway.
The scrum half isolated, took it in, nowhere to go. Again, Exeter in those one-on-one situations, so difficult to move the bodies once they're over the ball.
Yeah, they're a big set of boys, and once they get over, it's pretty much game over, really.
Well, he's managed to miss touch. So a let off for Northumbria as Bragman skips past one defender and reinforcements arrive, so no turnover this time. Will Koki putting some depth on it as Northumbria really want to wind it up. Here's a little bit of space for Josh Hodge to run into, gets around the outside. Oh, this will be a wonder try, and it is. Well, that's what he can do. We've seen him do it at 15, now he's doing it with the 14 on his back. But that is possibly the try of the week from Josh Hodge.
Yeah, just put his foot down, went on the outside and just gashed the fullback.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a game on our hands. See the final 22 metres of that sprint, but so much hard work done. Yari Fantini was waiting on the outside, but there was no chance of him getting that ball off Josh Hodge. He scored the winner against Cardiff last week, and he has dragged Northumbria back into this one. Can he add the extras? I thought he was going to sit on the cameraman's lap for a second. Easy work. And right on the stroke of half-time, Northumbria get themselves back to within a converted score. Here at Kingston Park, it's Northumbria 14, Exeter 21. And Josh Rudling, that is some frantic 40 minutes of rugby.
Yeah, good start by Exeter, but the Poly has sort of grown into the game a little bit too late, but we'll look to build on that second half.
There is the half-time score then. Northumbria 14, Exeter 21. 3 scores for Exeter. They were unanswered. But listen to that welcome. Northumbria are getting back into the sheds. Couple for Peters, one for Schrottner before Williams and Hodge responded. Both kickers are on 100%. 3 conversions for Exeter, 2 for Northumbria. And let's take a look at the highlights from the first half. 2 teams with very different approaches to this one. Fantastic start from Exeter. Peters got the first try after 2 minutes, and I think it was pretty obvious from the way they started that Northumbria were in for a tough evening here at Kingston Park.
Yeah, they had to use their forwards, try and bully up front, as they say. And you could say they did that for the first 20 minutes, but we've grown into the game using our backs to get out wide.
Well, that was the first score. The second was very similar. All those powerhouse engine room forwards getting involved. It was Schrottner with the finish at the end. He had some work to do there, took a couple of defenders over the line with him. Referee Harry Walbaum in a great position, but his AR in an even better one. Ball was on the line. You could see a bit of frustration there from the Northumbria players who weren't too sure. This was the second Josh Peters try. Again, carbon copy stuff. Exeter, big side, physical side. So difficult to stop from short range. And at this moment, it looked as though Exeter were going to disappear out of sight. However, this BUCS Super Rugby League is anything but predictable. And Northumbria, led there by George Bordell, finally got themselves on the line by George Williams, barging his way over. 4 tight 5 forwards getting the opening scores, and this one the pick of the bunch. What a finish from Josh Hodge inside his own half, the skip inside the winger there, and when he puts the hammer down, still with work to do. Salma Bogue is one of the quickest fullbacks in this league, but he's gone past him there like he didn't exist.
Yeah, Josh Hodge just glides past anyone, so he'll do that to most people, so I don't think he should feel too bad.
Half-time score, Northumbria 14, Exeter 21. Now, of course, we talk about this league being a platform for people to go on to bigger and better things. The latest to join that elite group is Sam Skinner. Of course, he captained Exeter as they won at Twickenham a couple of years ago. Since then, he's gone to play the professional game, and he was the man of the match on debut for Scotland last week. And he's playing second row that day. He's playing in the flank this weekend as well. So best of luck, Sam Skinner, and congratulations And of course, Josh, for everyone playing in this league, that shows how far you can go. It really is a great league to be involved with.
Yeah, it's a great pathway. It shows that all the professional teams are watching you when you're playing. So if you put in have a good season, there's a chance of a contract at the end of it.
Well, of course, I'm chatting here with Josh today, but most weeks I chat alongside Joe Burns as well. So join the conversation with us. The official BUCS Super Rugby podcast is the BUCS Stops Here. You can get involved, well, of course, by listening, but also on social media as well, Twitter and Instagram. We love to hear from you, whether you're a player, you're a coach or a fan. Then follow us at the BUCS Stops Here. Let us know what you think. We will let you know what we think, and we look forward to you joining us. SoundCloud.com/BUCS Stops Here. One day we'll get it on iTunes, I promise. But in the meantime, join us on SoundCloud or A-Class for the BUCS Stops Here. And a little birdie tells me that we're going to get Sam Skinner on the podcast this week, but don't get too excited because technology defeated us last week. But Sam Skinner, he is the shining light for what can be for BUCS Super Rugby at the moment, and we hope that he'll be joining us on the BUCS Stops Here ahead of next week's episode. So tune in to find out. It's Bath versus Durham in the live match on November the 21st. That's a 6:30 p.m. kickoff, so make sure you join us at 6:15 for all the pre-match frivolities. It's at Bath University on the STV. Of course, Durham looking to bounce back after a pretty hefty defeat. Bath before this week were 4 wins out of 4, and they lost that one late to Cardiff Met. So 2 teams with a point to prove after losing in this match week. Make sure you join Joe for that one. 6:30 kick-off, a 6:15 show for Bath versus Durham. Well, last time we were in Bath, it was a thriller at the Rec, and they won it in the last minute. We've had so many of those this season. BUCS took their cameras down, and let's see what they got up to.
This is my 4th year at the uni now, and I've been to this game every year, and it's something special. And to play at the Rec, obviously the home of Bath Rugby, it's something which most boys don't even expect to do before they come to uni, and to get the opportunity to do it here, it's impressive. And if you're not getting excited about it, there's something wrong. And I know those boys really well, and I know that they're going to be coming out here on that field even just for the warm-up, and there's going to be something inside them buzzing.
I think it's just amazing. Like I say, the amount of people who turn up to support is kind of getting bigger and bigger every year. It's such a good experience for them, you know, potentially going on to professional contracts afterwards. Obviously, the level of competition is always a great level for Bath, especially someone like Tom Doughty, going to attract a big crowd, setting that BUCS record this year with the number of tries he's scored, which is really going to obviously draw people in.
BUCS and the RFU and all the stakeholders have really created a pretty good product. The word exciting is used too often, but we keep saying that. I can't speak for them, but they're playing in front of a load of their mates, their peers and their girlfriends and their family, and yeah, of course they're motivated.
It's just really exciting for young rugby players. The best thing about it is being able to go out there and express yourself. As a young player, that's what you want to do, and you want people to start watching you, and BUCS Super Rugby offers that pathway to be able to do that. When you're in the late stages of the game and times are getting tough, when you hear a big crowd behind you, it really does help motivate you to push on in the last few minutes.
Has the opportunity to kick Bath to glory.
Hugo Styles winning it there with the very last kick of the match. We of course have some fantastic games coming up. Bath versus Durham next week. The following week we're up in Yorkshire for Leeds Beckett versus Exeter, and then we've got 2 games that week as we're back here at Kingston Park for Northumbria against Loughborough. Then we're into December. The countdown to Christmas is on, and we're back at Lady Bay for Nottingham Trent versus Durham. And then on the 12th it is Cardiff Met versus Cardiff University, live from Cardiff Arms Park, where they're playing both of those fixtures this year. Last time Well, let's just say the atmosphere was pretty special. Cardiff Met TV took their cameras down, and let's have a look at what they got up to. The Archers victorious in that Cardiff derby, but the next one not to be missed, 12th of December. Make sure you join us for that. But we have got 40 minutes more fascinating BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti coming up here. Exeter get us back underway. They're 21-14 to the good, but Josh Rudling, I think Northumbria will have gone into the sheds there very much buoyed by that final 10 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, definitely. Great time to score just before half-time, as Exeter would have no time to do anything about it, and just picked our performance up really. Been making a few line breaks, causing Exeter a few more problems.
We've won the first penalty of the second half of Northumbria in the black jerseys, attacking the try line away to your right-hand side. That man, Josh Hodge. 2 conversions and a try for him. 9 points of Northumbria's 14. And he metronomically finds touch, as he always does.
He's allowed to attack the ball there, but he can't take the
course, you play in the back three yourself, but having somebody, of course he's got that X factor, but with that level of reliability as well, it must be an absolute godsend.
Yeah, it's a joke how far he can kick it. He'll kick it from 22 to 22 and then you're pretty much in a position to score again. Great to have in your team.
There's George Bordill getting the ball at the back, finding Lewis Berg. Footwork, he's still managing to get another 5 metres when he finds contact.
Advantage, not rolling.
And an advantage here, the ball out of the side. So what is the decision? Do you go for the sticks with Josh Hodge, or do you go for the corner? A conversation being had here.
Captain, yeah, shot at goal.
And I don't think there's any surprise there. Get the scoreboard ticking over at the start of the second half.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, much has been said of the 100% record, but he's going to have to miss eventually. Connor Lloyd kicked 92% last year for Leeds Beckett. He actually missed his first 2 kicks against Loughborough. However, managed to drain one when they were down to 13 players to put Leeds Beckett into the lead. If you didn't watch that match earlier in this week, then do yourself a favour. When this one finishes, clear 2 hours in your diary and stick it on, because it was arguably the match of the season. 31-29, Loughborough with the win. But here's Josh Hodge to close the gap to just 4 points. 35 metres out to the left of the sticks. And it doesn't seem like it matters where it is. The result is the same, and Northumbria right back in this match. They trail 17-21.
Yeah, I don't know, you just don't miss. You put your house on him to score.
That's Josh Rudling there, who one day will be homeless if that's what he bets every time. However, 3 from 3 from the tee today. Northumbria have arrived in this match and will return in this one with interest as well. Ollie Robinson there, wearing 22. Parkhouse this time, wearing 11 but spending most of his time on the right wing. There's Hodge wearing 14, spending most of his time on the left. Good depth on this and plenty of work to do as well for Galbraith. And what a response from Exeter.
First man straight on the ball.
It's a risky game plan trying to run it out of your own 22. And Northumbria coming unstuck there. He was a little bit isolated there. Better defence this time from Exeter. They've been susceptible to the wide ball.
Yeah, it's a bit slow to clear out the breakdown there, but it's got much quicker there when you're in your own 22.
Capstick, the man forcing the penalty. And this, the position that has led to all 3 Exeter tries so far. Interesting coaching position there from Darren Thurn. What's he doing all the way back there?
Maul inside.
Yeah, he likes to have a wander around the game.
Still in shorts.
Backwards.
Going to be any soft southerners in shorts this time of year up in Kingston Park.
I think he's only worn trousers about twice in his life.
Here come Exeter though, their first attack. Here's Mabogue. Oh, loose pass from him and the opportunity's gone. Rare mistake from Sal Mabogue. Didn't look under too much pressure here either. It's Morley, finds Mabogue, has to fix the defender and flat pass to Chatterton. Oh, didn't even get any hands to it.
Yeah, it's a good D there from the boys, and then probably thought it was closer than did, and then just threw a bit of a dodgy pass.
The remaining Northumbria replacements there. What part will they have to play?
Straight across the gap.
Northumbria trying to be a little bit too cute. And they put pressure on themselves twice inside their own 22, and no surprise, Exeter opting for the scrum. And they'll look to turn the screw here. Keep your eye on Jack Rouse. He's there with the number 8 on his back. Black scrum cap, as wide as a double door.
Let's go, boys, come on. Come on.
Northumbria made a couple of changes in the scrum. They've shored it up ever so slightly, but Exeter still in the ascendancy. There it goes, starting to creep forward.
Advantage 9.
Advantage coming here for Exeter. The referee with his arm out just out of your shot. Pierre Thompson waits. Yari Fantini having a good look at it. In fact, Thompson looked to have knocked that on, and he did. Referee brings them back for the penalty, and Thompson wants to go quickly.
Join the front row of the scrum. Number 7, join the front row. No, must stay in your position.
In fact, it was Yari Fantini, the guilty party.
Black line's yours.
Another line out, the pressure continues here. Exeter deep inside the Northumbria 22.
Go ahead.
Out of your shot, the referee just checking his earpiece there. I thought just getting news that Northumbria are making a replacement.
Can you just relay that message from Mick, please? Yeah, we've got subs, gents, we've got subs.
Jamie Ross.
Yeah, just hold the throw, Dave, just hold the throw. Okay.
And Isaac Brace replaces him.
Good competition!
Oh, he's been turned over by Northumbria, and he's thrown that offload there. Kamikaze stuff from the home team. Well, they've run their way back into this match. They could be offloading their way back out of it again. Good contest. It dropped back
White, you said you wanted
Exeter's
to put
way.
Numbers, please. 7 man.
Well, it was an interesting decision.
Yeah, we probably should have held it there, but we looked to play from anywhere, but we probably should have kept it there, given them the ball back in a good position.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. George Gosling with the ball at the back as Exeter bring it back infield. 7 or 8 metres out. Plenty of bodies in there for Northumbria and a penalty advantage coming as well. This could be bad news here for the hosts. A metre short of the line. Pierre Thompson's there, but he gets out of the way, letting the big men come through. Approaching 50 minutes here. Plenty of bodies in there. This time the card does come. But who will be the recipient? Oh, Yari Fantini.
Take your hands down. Take your hands down. Number 7, entry to the maul. He goes to the bin.
Is not only the man involved with the scuffle, he's the man sent to the bin. And he'll be a big miss for 10 minutes.
Number 7, entry.
Yeah, definitely good tackler, good over the breakdown, but I can't really comment on the rucks and mauls, don't really know what's going on.
That is very honest of you, Josh Rudley. Yari Fantini sent to the bin, so Northumbria will be a man short at this next breakdown, perhaps their busiest forward as well. Lots of work to do here. They're going to chuck a man up at the front, but Exeter almost unopposed. Looking to turn that screw.
4 out.
It's crude work, but it's good work. Advantage coming again. And this time it's a penalty try. Well, it's been coming for Exeter.
Number 4, clear maul collapse, 4 goes to the bin.
And now Northumbria down to 13. 2 yellow cards in a minute. And after Northumbria running rings around Exeter for 10 or 15, they've got back to what they're good at. They've picked up 7 points, and Northumbria have lost 2 players. And this is real trouble for the hosts.
Yeah, no worries.
It's Toby Hodges, who we had as the number 4, but it's actually Ed Bloodworth who's gone to the bin.
Okay. Okay, time back on.
The questions to be answered here for Northumbria. They've lost a second row and they've lost a flanker.
Ripped in the tackle.
And really, they were masters of their own downfall there, Josh.
Yeah, we should have just kept the ball and exited there, and now we're down to 13, which isn't great. We just have to play smart and keep the ball, go through the phases.
And away! Don't push the ball into him, it's clearly available.
Northumbria find themselves back on the opponent's 22. There is number 22. Taking him to bang in front of the sticks. Still not scared to run it though.
Just inside, Dave, I think. Line's yours, Black.
It's Parkhouse. Little nudge to the corner, not coming off, but I suppose when you're chasing the game, you've got to take some chances.
Yeah, you've got to try and make things happen. Seen a bit of space in behind, just kick weren't quite right.
Well, 7 and 4 have gone off for Northumbria. They're also going off here for Exeter. However, they're going to be replaced. So Paul Schrotner and Ollie White going off. Let's have another look at this. He called for, obviously bringing it down. Just chopping in low there, Bloodworth. That metronomic line out of Exeter. Successful again.
Legal. Legal on the ball. To ground by White. Ball available.
A bit of confusion then, but what it does mean is Exeter go one further out, and Salma Bogue clears, but only as far as Bragman. absolute giant at 15. Starved of opportunity in this match so far, though. Koki gets brought down on halfway. As the sirens go past, you wonder if that's the set-piece police, because Northumbria,
that's your own player's leg.
pretty guilty of some infringements there as well. Koki tries to force it again. It just hasn't come off today for Northumbria, and they find themselves nearly in trouble once again.
Mark over here.
Down to 13, remember, as the referee brings them back for the knock-on. Approaching 54 minutes, BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti.
Going to deal with this player here.
Exeter have been entirely dominant in the scrum, and now Northumbria missing a first-choice lock and flanker.
There's a few times now where I feel your guys are pushing the ball into a player.
This could be real trouble here.
We're going to play.
And another score, and you might suspect Exeter could disappear out of sight. Tough evening thus far for your team, Josh.
Yeah, we haven't started well in both halves and just let Exeter get into the game, and they've sort of kept their lead very well. We just need to be patient, and then it will come.
It was a similar story against Cardiff last week, wasn't it? You trailed for large portions against them.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. We always talk about it in the reviews and stuff, but we just take I don't know why we just always take ages to get going. But then when we do get going, we tear up. But I don't know why. We need to fix that.
Well, as we saw at the end of the first half, the Northumbria team on song. It's a tough test for anybody, but Exeter's forward pack being the difference between the two teams so far.
Crouch!
3 tries from forwards and a penalty try coming from 128's hard graft. And Northumbria win the penalty. Would you believe it? Against all odds.
Tight head rolled underneath the scrum.
Oh, some handbags there.
It's your penalty. Why are we risking a reversal? Speak to them.
The referee, Harry Walbom, doing a very good job there. Sorry, not Yari Fancini, he's in the bin. George Koki doing his utmost to try and get the penalty reversed. Or maybe just trying to spark this game into life, or maybe even provoke an Exeter player.
Yeah, he's probably just trying to wind him up. Walker's pretty good at that, and then he's probably giving him a bit of stick about losing the scrum to probably 6 men.
Well, a bit of territory here for Northumbria.
4-man.
If they could get on the scoreboard with these players in the bin, then that really would be some achievement.
9.
4 men in the line, and a good line-out ball as well. Didn't look like they were going to get the man up for a brief period of time. However, there is a green wall ready to meet them. Of course, the extra men in Exeter's favour. There's Lewis Berg. Comprehensively stopped. So Northumbria go up the blind side. There's Hodge, brought down by 2 men in green.
Okay, ball's there, leave now on.
Robinson. Short ball there to Walton, came in as a first half substitute. Bit of a hospital pass there, he's met by Rouse and Morley. Bragman up to there. He had him in a figure 4 chokehold for a second as Parkhouse tries to get away. Boot to ball there by Hodge into the 22, the chase is on. Salma Bow close to the line, dumped over the line. And that is a good chase from Northumbria. Huge collision on Salma Bow, who took it the right side of the try line, but was unceremoniously shunted the other side of it. Clever kicking though from Josh Hodge to create that opportunity.
Yeah, fullback done well, but then we did well to let him get up, and then big hit over the try line to get a ball back.
Yeah, I got you.
All the way on the engaged, don't worry.
Parkhouse with the chase.
Okay.
Of course, Northumbria with the put-in, winning the penalty at the last one.
You've got to bring your feet up under you, okay?
Although they actually did very well there. Showed a real scrutiny from both Elliott and Parkhouse.
One low, one high.
BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. We approach the hour mark here. 2 on the blind side, 2 on the open side here for Northumbria.
Both sides.
Well, Koki and Parkhouse on the right hand side of the scrum. Bragman and Hodge on the left. A couple of players off the park. Really does look bare outside the scrum, doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll just probably have to. I reckon Ollie's going to command it and then just pick and go, but it's not great when you've got to put your backs in the flanks.
Crouch.
Lewisburg on the open side flank there.
Set.
The 13 jersey. And Exeter turning the screw. Where's the ball gone? Green and white. Have to get that ball in and out quickly if you're Northumbria. Again, Exeter go for the scrum. From the second the ball comes in there, Exeter turning the screw. Northumbria trying to get the hands on it. It was actually a knock-on given, but either way the result's the same. Pierre Thompson, ball in hand.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
However, Northumbria will be back up to 14 soon, and then 15 as this scrum goes forward. Keep your eye on that referee. Which way is his hand going to go? Rousey manages to find the offload, and that's some lovely footwork from the right winger as well. Charlie Davies gets the ball away, but it gets ripped back by Josh Hodge, who's got broken play to run at. That one was nearly picked off. Needs to be careful there. Northumbria only know one way, and it's been knocked on again. Well, it doesn't matter the situation. Your team, Josh, just continually offload the ball when sometimes you can't help but think keeping it in hand might be the safer option, particularly when you're down to 13.
Yeah, we try and look to score off every phase, but especially when down to 13, we've got to be a bit more smarter there and just keep hold of the ball. And since we've got quite good field position, try and build off that.
Well, our clock has ticked down. Remember, ours aren't official timings, but there are still 13 on the pitch here for Northumbria.
Crouch.
5 and the scrum half is 6, and then 7 in the scrum, so still 13 on the pitch. So according to our timer, Northumbria should be back up to 15 any moment now. There are 20 minutes to go. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. And this one's still in the balance. There is Yari Fantini. He was the first to be sent to the bin. And then following him was Ed Bloodworth.
We go to penalties. Crouch.
And he'll be champing at the bit to get back on, won't he?
Yeah, we could do him back on, get a ball back from turnovers.
Lewisburg still scrummaging in the flank, still adding his weight. That one's gone all the way round, but it's open right up. Jack Rouse running towards the fullback, looking for the offload, half tackled and back on his feet. Well, the gate's open there for the big number 8. Now Northumbria on the back foot. Exeter back into the 22, and they'd love another score with Northumbria still with the reduced numbers. Next time play stops, I think they'll be back up to the full contingent, but that is knocked on by Josh Peters, and I think he got a little bit in the rib cage there from Mike Newstead as well. And there goes Yari Fantini, so Northumbria back up to 14. Well, what happens here?
There's 9.
Don't think Jack Rouse can believe his luck. Looks one way, then the other. Yeah, Thompson was there.
Time off, gents. Time off.
Time just run quite well. And Exeter are going to make a change here as well. We'll have a look at the replay. Scramble defence there. Josh Bragman making the tackle on Chatterton. Pietro Di Chio is coming on for Pierre Thompson at scrum half.
Okay, physio.
Sam Morley's having a little bit of attention, just out of shot from the physio as well.
Okay, all okay. Physio, you happy? Thank you. Sam, you're now captain, yeah? Good man.
There is Ed Bloodworth. Won't be too long until he's back on the field of play. But Northumbria have one more scrum to defend first. They'll have the put in, but expect this to start going backwards at a rate of knots.
Time back on. Crouch. Bind.
Northumbria with 7 in the scrum here.
Set.
No blindside flanker. Fantini back in at open side. Backwards it goes. Has this been turned over in time? No. They've somehow managed to come away with it. That is excellent work. And the offload as well. Fantini straight back into the action. Oh, that's been knocked forward. Has it been deliberately knocked forward? Well, the crowd certainly think so. They found their voices.
Just a knock on. He's in a realistic position to catch the ball.
Again, Northumbria going full Kobe Bryant.
Okay, send him on.
I'm not sure if it's basketball or volleyball or some kind of rugby, but they're back up to 15. And they've actually done incredibly well, bearing in mind the penalty try was given as Bloodworth was sin bin. So in that period with 13 players, they've not conceded any more points, and I think they can take some confidence from that as Matt Johnson comes on for Exeter in the front row.
Yeah, we've dug in well again with 13 men, and yeah, pretty well, pretty good D.
Well, Exeter have dominated the scrum, and they're bringing on Matt Johnson, who is a man mountain in a 17 jersey.
Twos.
Crouch.
Well, he's a highly skilled scrummager, but the laws of physics state that he's got an advantage already.
Time, early weight.
And Northumbria going quickly, and there's a huge carry there. Ollie Robinson. Here's some width on it. Charlie Parkhouse. In and out and away. Here's a 2-on-1. He's offloaded that to Elliott for the corner, and that's a huge response. They're back up to 15, and they're back in the ball game. Northumbria 22, Exeter 28. And a touch of class there, first from Parkhouse, then the finish from Elliott.
Yeah, great finish from Parker. Great finish from Elliott. Getting it on the wing to Parkhouse. He just gasses the winger, then gives it a little good trailing line by James.
He's done very well there. Got the ball stood still, but dispatched 3 defenders there. Support line inside from James Elliott. And with 15 minutes to go, it is game on once again. Well, these live BUCS Super Rugby games brought to you by Yoti never ever disappoint. We had a candidate for game of the season at Loughborough in the week. And if this goes over from Josh Hodge, we've got another one here. 2 conversions and a penalty so far. Puts that relaxed left boot through it, and would you believe it, he's missed. Well, thankfully, Josh Rudling, you didn't put your house on that one.
Yeah, a bit of a collector's item there, but hopefully we can build on this, get a few more tries, hopefully win the game.
Well, that was an excellent finish from Elliott. Still had a bit of work to do, but Charlie Parkhouse going past Exeter defenders like they're not there. 66 minutes gone. Northumbria 22, Exeter 28. Every match that Northumbria have won here so far this season has been by a converted try or less at the top of the match. Darren Fern said he hoped this one wouldn't be quite as nerve-wracking. For long periods of the first half, it looked like it wouldn't be nerve-wracking at all because Exeter looked like they could disappear out of sight. They were 21-0 to the good since then. Oh, that was close. Is that off the ball? Is the referee going to have a look at this? No, it is knock-on advantage to Exeter.
Just a knock-on.
Well, let's take a look at this. It was a horrible sounding collision. Both players with their eyes on the ball.
Team players. Team players.
Josh Hodge getting a little bit of attention there. That collision has been a surprise, of course. His eyes fixed on the ball.
First one's forward from black.
But it certainly have felt bad.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. Took one in the ribs, but hopefully he'll get back up and carry on.
Get a bit of attention
just a knock-on.
to that left leg there, but seems to be moving okay. There is Newcastle Falcons vintage bar. Looks like a London bus. Tell you what, it's driven a long way if it is, but not as far as Exeter have driven, of course. We've been told on good authority that they're flying back tonight, and I don't think any of them will have ever been quite so relieved to see an aeroplane.
Balance. Okay. Too much weight on this side, that last scrum. Last weight.
Well, there's the crowd. They're small but vocal. We're on the opposite side to them. Our commentary view, the same as the view that you've got at home. It's maybe a couple of hundred or so. When it suited them, they've been very vocal.
Crouch.
If Northumbria get over again, I think that volume could be turned up another notch.
Sit.
There's Pietro Zicchio, first put in for him, but it's the same result. This Exeter scrum cruising forward, up over halfway, and there's the penalty. Northumbria have no answer for that Exeter pack, and Morley has the opportunity to kick them back into territory. And they're back in the Northumbria 22.
That's fucking idiot, yeah? Line's yours, black.
Apologies if you heard any unsavoury language. The nights are dark up here, but we're still well before the watershed. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Oh, the challenge goes up, and Northumbria look for a second like they could have turned that one over, but there are hands on it from Hamilton.
Okay, first one's forward from black.
But the ball's gone forward off Northumbria, which means another set scrum, which is almost a better result for Exeter. And with the Northumbria backs going so well, this will really be frustrating them.
Yeah, Ed did well to win it there, but just unfortunate. Couldn't gather it. And then, yeah, Exeter have got a scrum now, so hopefully the boys are up for this one.
I'm sure it's no lack of effort from 1 to 8 for the men in black. However, they're being outweighted today. Matt Johnson on the far side of that scrum, adding a huge amount of weight.
Far side.
Look at the size difference between the prop forwards there.
Okay.
John Warburton for Northumbria. Not got the official weights, but I'd imagine he's given away somewhere in the region of 15 kilos.
Yeah, John's no small boy either, but he's absolutely dwarfing him there.
So on 75 minutes, even though this one's in the balance, Josh, I'm going to ask you for the Yoti man of the match. So have a good think about it. Bearing in mind, it's been known to be the kiss of death, and with this one in the balance, it could be again. So a player from either side for the man of the match as Exeter win a penalty, and this is a chance to kick a goal and put them over a converted score in front. So don't commit to it yet. 75, 76 minutes, Josh, I'll ask you for the Yoti man of the match. Get your thinking cap on. And they are going to kick for the posts.
He's gone to his knee first.
Well, could this be the three-pointer that wins it for Exeter? At the moment, very much in the balance. A converted score for Northumbria, and they're back into the ascendancy. They've never led in this match. They were 21-0 behind. It was 21-14 at half-time. Then Hodge kicked the penalty to make it 21-17. The penalty try made it 28-17, and then that wonder score from James Elliott made it 28-22. Josh Hodge missing the sticks for the first time this season. Sam Morley 3 from 3, all of them conversions. This for a little bit of daylight for Exeter. Draws it round like a left-hander swinging the 7-iron, and Exeter 31-22 ahead inside the last 10 minutes. And a very important three-pointer there from Sam Morley. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Josh Bragman to get us back underway. Northumbria needing 2 scores to pull this one from the fire. Exeter securing that one to run it from deep. Tackle made by Isaac Brace. Up on the field. Pietro Di Chio waits. Are we going to see the box kick to chase? Yes, we are. It's quite deep. The chase is on, but it's taken by Bragman. Into the for a second,
cannot push the ball into him.
The crowd were expecting something there, but the ref in a great position as Koki gets met by a huge defensive lift. Is that high? Yes, it is. There's an advantage coming here for Exeter. Possibly another kickable penalty on the way, unless they can create something even better.
No advantage. That's a neck crawl there. High by number 7.
Yari Fantini, the guilty party once again.
High tackle, yeah, shot at goal.
They're going to go for another shot at goal.
It's the same message.
No surprise, you give them the opportunities and they're going to put them away.
When it's available, we're playing.
Sam Morley, very confident with that left boot. This would make it 34-22. So still 2 scores for Northumbria. Perhaps not the end of the world when you have that reliable boot of Josh Hodge, should you get over the try line twice. But with 7 minutes to go, that's looking more and more unlikely. For 34 points. It's hit the post, and Northumbria are still alive, or are they? Oh, well, they've managed to get the offload away there. It's kamikaze stuff. Well. Who throws offloads there? Northumbria, that's who. 2 offloads on their own line, and somehow they're still on the ball. But Exeter committing bodies. And they're going to force Northumbria over the line here, are they?
Over the goal line.
Yes, they are.
Carried over by Black.
Well, the exit strategy just has not worked today for Northumbria. And what an opportunity here for Exeter to kill this one off once and for all. But while we set this scrum, Josh Rudling, do you have a man of the match?
Yes, but it pains me to say it, but I'm going to have to give it to the Exeter #1, Josh Peters. Very good, 2 tries today, and very dominant in the scrum, unfortunately.
Well, it was very gracious. He's packing down there in the scrum, closest to us. Josh Peters adds to his total. It's his 2nd brace of the season. Been a try machine throughout, and he is the Yoti man of the match today. He's driving this scrum forward again, as is Matt Johnson on the far side. It's another penalty.
Black backwards and up under pressure.
front row here for Exeter has been absolutely remarkable for 75 minutes. Northumbria have shown how dangerous they can be given the opportunities, but it's the opportunities that they've been starved of.
Popping up, boys, I'm popping up, same again. Right, low, we stay low.
Go for the scrum again. Remember, Exeter have had one penalty try in this match already.
Wait, twos. Come on. Come on, let's go, boys, come on.
Should the result stay the same,
Crouch.
it'll be a bonus point win for Exeter, and they will return to the top of the table, level on points with Hartbury. With so many away games played, that is an ominous sign for the rest of the league. Here comes that Exeter scrum once more. It's popped up. Has it gone forward off Jack Rouse? Well, it's gone forward off both number 8s there. Harry Fantini rousing the troops there. He hasn't given up on this one. But they're 95 metres away from the try line, and their exit strategy has been anything but reliable.
Yeah, we've got to play now, but we did this against Cardiff, and then I think you all know what happened, so I'll back the boys here.
Well, that is a confident man, Josh Rudling. He's joined us on co-commentary today. He's awarded Josh Peters the man of the match. 2 scores for the big number 1. But his impact, doing what's been expected of him in the front row, has probably been the most impressive thing of all. Exeter will look to see this one out.
Fight.
Playing in the right parts of the pitch.
Set.
But on comes the pressure, they've turned it over.
Straight out the scrum, so reset. Thank you, mate.
And the ball back in black hands, however it's a reset scrum. All the while the clock's ticking. And Exeter counting down to a double over Northumbria.
Hey, can you check your comms, mate?
They've had the best of recent results, actually. Of course, they won 45-24 earlier in the season. Honours were even last year when they came up here. They were defeated 27-21. But in the first week of the season last year, it was 53-50. If there's ever a better BUCS Super Rugby match, well, I look forward to it. The season before that, Exeter did the double there, 29-15 up here and 59-12 down there.
All used.
And this time Northumbria can come away with it. Ali Robinson packing down at 8. And again, Northumbria just don't want to put boot to ball.
Okay, 9, use it!
Plenty of bodies narrow. Referee tells James Elliott to use, and he does put boot to ball. Taken cleanly, that's exactly what Exeter want, as they can have the ball on the opponent's 22. 90 seconds left on our clock.
Just a knock on.
Turned over, then knocked on. George Borden, he's done that a couple of times today.
Scrum advantage
Those
over.
individual mistakes have cost Northumbria. Exeter, the far more clinical of the sides. Now, that's gone forward off Exeter. The advantage was gone, so Northumbria will get the ball into the last minute. Time not on the host side. Neither is territory or the scoreboard. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. And a clinical performance here from Exeter. The odds were stacked against them going into this one. Northumbria undefeated at home. The administrative error where they booked their flights for the wrong day and had to set off at 5 AM. They only arrived here just over an hour before kickoff. But it's looking for all the world like they're going to escape here with 5 points. And they're going to go back to the top of the table. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. 2 brilliant matches this week. Of course, join us next week for Bath versus Durham.
Okay, water off, please.
After today, Bath will be pushed down to 4th in the league. Durham will remain in 6th. Exeter will go level on points with Hartbury. And Northumbria will stay in the top 5. Admittedly, it's been error-riddled today, but unless they can get over the try line, This will be Northumbria not getting a bonus point at home, which is very often unthinkable.
Up under pressure.
Well, Matt Johnson, since he's come on, the Exeter scrum was in the ascendancy as it was, but he has changed it. And the referee has seen enough. It is a bonus point victory for Exeter, 31-22, the full-time score. And BUCS Super Rugby, watch out, because Exeter are back. They're top of the tree with Hartpury. And that is a familiar scene for many people who've been following university rugby over the years. Josh Rudling, a difficult evening for Northumbria today. They showed flashes of what makes them so brilliant, but mistakes cost them and Exeter made them pay.
Yeah, definitely. A few too many individual errors gave Exeter a good field position, and then especially with their big pack, can't really do that because they're more than likely going to score.
Well, there is the league table following this one. Hartpury remain top, but only on points difference. Exeter level with them, 8 bonus points as well. 4 wins, that 1 draw away at Loughborough, and the 2 defeats. Northumbria stay where they were. No points for them today. They're sandwiched in between Bath and Durham. But still, look how close it is. Just 5 points between 5th and top. Just 2 points between 4th and top. And the likes of Durham, Loughborough and Nottingham Trent knocking on the door as well. Leeds Beckett have beaten Hartpury in Hartpury and somehow find themselves 9th in the league. Really is a crazy division, this BUCS Super Rugby.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone can beat anyone, and you've got to be on your game to win.
Well, the full-time score, Northumbria 22, Exeter 31. A superb victory for a team who have championship aspirations every season. Just a couple of tries in the second half. The penalty try, of course, relentless pressure from Exeter. They just strangled Northumbria. Ed Bloodworth was sent to the bin for that one. Yari Fantini went to the bin just before him. There was a shrug of the shoulders and a lot of frustration there from the Northumbria pack, but the referee did a great job. This, though, one of the highlights of the match, and if there are any crumbs of comfort from Northumbria, then they've just got to look in the direction of these two. Charlie Parkhouse with the break, James Elliott with the finish. Vintage Northumbria that, but not quite enough on the day.
Yeah, we didn't really keep the ball well enough today to get out to our wingers who could cause some damage when they got a bit of open space.
Well, we're hoping to get interviews with the man of the match, Josh Peters. 2 more tries for him today, and of course we'll be hearing from Keith Fleming as well. But the full-time score here, Northumbria 22, Exeter 31. A thrilling match, and we had another thriller on Wednesday as well. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from Loughborough versus Leeds Beckett. Davis puts his head down, Okafor makes the tackle. There is Ripper Smith, breaks through, and he's going to open the scoring. Fantastic line, under the sticks, 2 minutes gone, and it's Loughborough Students 5, Leeds Beckett 0. There's Conrad Cade, carries in. Oh, head down there from Stephen James, gets the offload away. Lovely stuff from Beckett, tackled 5 metres short. Stephen James looks confident, they're queuing up here. Okafor for the line, over the line, and Leeds Beckett strike back. And it's that man, John Okafor, makes it Loughborough 7, Leeds Beckett 5.
I don't think you're going to stop John Okafor from that range. It's massive, and he came onto it at considerable pace.
Leave it!
Gallen attempting to get hands on that and then backing off. Loughborough have been pinged a couple of times already. Possibly numbers here. Williams gets through one eventually. Gets brought down by Davis. Very important tackle there. Once again, that short line. Zav Valentine, the ball carrier this time. Heavy strapping on the right knee of the big prop forward. Approaching 15 minutes here. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Okafor attempting to get his hands on the ball. Oh, gets straight through. It's going to be a second try for the second row. And that one was simple. 15 minutes gone. Back-to-back scores for John Okafor. And it's Leeds Beckett 10, Loughborough Students 7. We're in the light head guard and the number 22. But watch Beckett try and get the push on here. Starts to come. Connor Lloyd has to dig for it. Oh, lovely hands. Venables for the line, over the line, and it's a third score for Leeds Beckett. But what about that offload in midfield? 17-7.
It's all come from a great scrum once again, though, from the Beckett pack. They're clearly getting dominance to start with. Hopefully that can change for Loughborough, but they do look unstoppable to start with.
Oh, Ripper Smith up the blind side, finds the hooker King, who's in unopposed. Straight off the training ground, and Loughborough back into it. Charlie Venables, try scorer in the first half, gets straight through into the 22. Venables round the outside of an important ankle tap, but he's back up, throws the offload to Chester Duff, reaches for the line. He's just short in the position where Max Hill couldn't convert at the end of the first half. Can Beckett convert at the start of the second? Yes, they can. Johnny Teague over the whitewash, and it's Beckett 24, Loughborough 14.
Tackle,
you're legal.
Maybe.
Balls at the front, you're legal.
But we're back underway. Loughborough knocking on the door here. Looks promising for the home team. They're claiming it. The referees awarded it, and Loughborough up to 19.
That man King again scoring, coming back into the BUCS Super Rugby side and having a great game.
2 tries for Harrison King.
Please.
Well, from the horse's mouth, what an opportunity here for Loughborough though. Archie McPherson gathers it. Loughborough in a similar position to where the last try came from. It was Harrison King on that occasion. Okafor's off the ground, and Will Findley's the chief cheerleader. They're over the line, the ball's down, and Loughborough are all square.
Great try there from the boys. Great to see the backs getting involved. I hope they didn't take the ball off the forwards though. That's a forwards try.
Well, Harrison King came up with it. Is that a hat trick for the hooker?
I hope for his sake it's not. He'll pay for that later tonight.
Okay, the referee feeling the pace as well, as there's the little dab inside, and Tajuata pounces on it. Not a lot of space to run into Tajuata.
Use it!
There might have been a little bit afters off the ball there between the 13 and James Spencer. Tom Williams for Leeds Beckett.
Okay, let's stop off. Stop play calls.
I think there might have been a stamp from what I saw. It'd be interesting to see what the touch judge says.
Okay, I've not seen what you've seen, but tell me what you've seen. To the knee of the place, it's to the joint by 13 green. It's a red card. 13 green. 13 green.
Big news.
30.
Tom Williams in trouble.
Okay, the report from the, listen, relax, I'm going to tell you. The report from the AR, right, is a stamp by 13 green that's made contact with the joint to the knee. There's no option but red card. But what's he supposed to?
Well, I'll be seeing you, Tom Williams. That's he could have cost his side there.
Well, let's have another look at this. The assistant referee was very certain with his decision. Here was Tajuata on the turn. Tom Williams.
Watch James Spencer come in here. It's a little bit afters off the ball here.
Not till the penalty. Time's off to the candidate.
Definitely.
Time's off.
Tom Williams rightfully given his marching orders by referee Matt Turvey. Here's Tom Walsh.
Questionable use of arms there in that tackle.
Referee's happy enough. Desperate stuff here from both teams. Is Johnny Teague offside? No, says the referee. Here's Cruz. Is there space out wide? Yes, there is. Onto the back door, stunning offload and finished in the corner.
Crowd going wild. Great backs move. I personally am not a big fan of missed passes. To see it go straight through the hands there, brilliantly executed, and Sam Roberts in the corner.
Sam Roberts. Is that the winning score? Leeds Beckett will be back up to 14 very shortly. 15 jersey. And loves the carry. Watch John Okafor as well. It's been stripped, it's gone forward.
Get it off.
Needs to go out.
Get it off.
It's been put out by Tom Walsh, and Loughborough have snuck home. Well, they've got the second victory of the season. They remain undefeated here in the East Midlands, but boy oh boy did they make it hard work. Leeds Beckett led 26-14. Loughborough Great work through the forwards. Tom Williams disgraced himself, but the remaining players on the paddock dug in. They'll feel desperately unlucky, but Loughborough students get the bonus point win. They've defeated Leeds Beckett 31-29. We so very nearly had the first drop goal winner of the season on Wednesday. It wasn't that close this evening. 31-22 the full-time score, and after everything that happened in the build-up, a bonus point victory must be sweet relief for you, Keith.
Yeah, no, it's a relief. The trip home will be far more pleasant, that's for sure.
Well, it couldn't be much less pleasant, could it? With all of those things that go wrong, all the best laid plans and all that, the boys really turned up today. The forwards in particular, in the opening 20 minutes, they won you that match.
Opening 20 minutes was very, very good. Yeah, they put in a real shift. A couple of times when it just shows in this league you cannot switch off for a second. We switched off for a couple of seconds. Northumbria is such a dangerous side. 2 quick tries, 21-point game became a 7-point game.
That's it, isn't it? At 21-0, a lot of the time you think we can steamroll a team here, but they're so dangerous. 2 of their tries are some of the best we'll see all season.
Yeah, without a doubt. As I say, you give them a sniff and they're away and they'll punish you, and we were punished. So
at half-time, it was 21-14. How did you feel that half had gone? Did you feel you were in the ascendancy?
Yes, I think we were. Again, it was just really lack of concentration at key moments, which changed the momentum of the game. We spoke about it at half-time, refocused on it, and we came out stronger again, I thought, in the second half.
When they went down to 13, sometimes teams lose their heads. You didn't score during that period, apart from the penalty try, of course, but the composure of the pack again, you rang a few changes, and they did you proud.
Yeah, very much so. You know, we got to keep cool heads, but work extremely hard. The changes that were going on, the boys came in, put their hands up, and worked away at it.
And albeit for points difference, you're currently top of the league.
Gosh, there we go. Doesn't mean too much this time of the year. We've actually got to push on really hard. As I said to the boys just now, we've made a step forward, but you know, there's still an awful lot of work to do.
Before the game, you were quite coy. You weren't willing to single anybody out for praise. We're about to present the man of the match, but aside from him, was there anyone else who really caught your attention?
I think we had some debutants today. We had another fresher come on at tight head for us, and well done Finley. You know, big step up for him. And a few other boys, 1 or 2 boys coming back from injury. You know, I think Will Hollis did very well at 12. He hasn't played for a while now because of injury, but those boys coming back in again. Another new boy, Hooker, came on and put in a really good shift, so pleased for those guys.
Future very bright at Exeter indeed. Right, let's get the man of the match in. You have a medal, I'll take. Well, apologies for the technical there. We just thought we'd wait a little bit longer to keep you in the outside here because the temperature has dropped in the north. You won't be too surprised to know. But huge congratulations. You've been a bit of a try machine this season. Another 2, a man of the match. How'd you feel after that one?
Yeah, pretty tired, but like ecstatic to get the win. I mean, obviously the build-up, best made plans and all that. 16, 17 days off. And then thinking ideal prep. And then all the debacle that happened last night.
Well, very often we talk about these 4G surfaces being all about the backs, but today it was all about the forwards, and your boys 1-8 were absolutely superb.
Yeah, it's just we didn't change our game plan. I mean, to be fair, we train on a 4G at home, and we like to play with tempo and intensity, and I felt we brought that, but you can't get that tempo and intensity if you don't have the ball.
And going into today, the opposition, of course, undefeated at home. You gave them a pretty good, hiding really away. You scored 7 tries there, but you've outclassed them again. That really does send a message to the rest of this league.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the games we played and where we haven't done as well has been solely down to us. I mean, the opposition have been great. I mean, today Northumbria showed with the likes of BUCS and Josh at the back, they can really carve up when given that opportunity.
So dangerous. I mean, you were dominant. I'm looking at the post that you scored under a couple of times as well. In that opening 20 minutes, you'd absolutely run over them. But when they cut loose, they're devastating.
Yeah, it's really unpleasant to be on the end of, but we talk about no talent battles a lot of the time, and it's just about getting in their face, making sure they don't have the opportunity to release their dangerous men.
Well, moving forward then, still lots of rugby to be played in BUCS Super Rugby, but every season people talk about Exeter as possible champions. You're currently top of the league. Is that something that's on your mind early next year?
No, not really. I mean, it's just about week on week and just about bringing the attitude and intensity that we want to bring and the way we want to play, because tonight again was a massive advert for rugby again, and we want to play that way. I mean, some people call us boring, but when we want to turn a style on, we can.
Well, very modest as always. You are the OT man of the match. Congratulations, fantastic win, and enjoy the flight home. It'll be a lot more pleasant than the bus. That is your man of the match. There are 2 tries again for Josh Peters, and from one Josh to another. Step into my office, Josh Rudling. Tough night for Northumbria today. Thank you for being on co-coms. A difficult one when it doesn't quite come off for your team, but some positives to be taken from that, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Our clinic, when we got the ball, you usually scored off it, and we can definitely use that, but we just need to keep the ball and then see the game out. And definitely in our 22, need to exit a bit more.
Well, perhaps when you fix that hamstring up, you can be the one on the clearance kicks. But you've had a quick chat with the lads while I've been doing some interviews. What are the spirits like post-match?
Not great. This one hurts a little bit, but we've got to put it right next week against Met, which will be a tough game, definitely away.
Certainly will be. Well, thank you for your co-coms today. Good luck with the hamstring injury, and thank you all for joining us. It is the first home defeat of the season for Northumbria, but Exeter do the double. It's a bonus point win for them, and they are breathing down Hartbury's necks at the top of the tree. Remember, you can join us on Wednesday. Bath are back at home. They are facing Durham in what will be another BUCS Super Rugby classic, I have no doubt. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, of course, to Yoti. Remember to join myself and Joe Burns on the BUCS Stops Here podcast. That'll be back next week. Thanks again to Josh. Thanks again to you. And we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.
It was so much easier because I had already set up on the app about 3 months ago actually when it first came to the island.
I really like how simple it was to use.
It's the kind of convenience we want in this modern age that we live in.
You don't really want to carry your passport around on night out, you're always going to have a phone on you.
The convenience to be able to go up and get my phone and just scan a thing.
It's just easy, you have all your stuff in one place.
It makes life a lot easier when you're trying to prove your age and quite versatile as well.